An astonishing natural phenomenon is happening on Christmas Island right now. Red crabs, thousands of them, are making their annual migration from the forest to the beach to spawn, and it's quite a sight.
A blanket of red crawling from the sea. Billions of tiny red crabs begin their first marathon journey.
We have people come from all over the world to witness it. It is the only place on the planet that it occurs.
It's the final stage of Christmas Island's annual red crab migration. 40 million adults march from the jungle to the ocean to mate and spawn once a year. The timing is critical. High tide on the last quarter moon after monsoon rains. Only then will the females lay their eggs, up to 100,000 each.
It's very much survival of the fittest and a numbers game. So the reason they have so many babies is because so many of them are going to get eaten.
These little guys are incredibly late this year. Usually spawning happens around November through to December, but because it's been an incredibly hot and dry summer, locals thought it wouldn't happen at all, but finally they're here.
These 3-week-olds surviving not only rough seas and countless predators.
So once they come up onto land, the predation doesn't stop. So birds will take them, adult crabs will eat them. Pretty much anything that's bigger than them will have a try.
As they march in unison back towards their home in the jungle.
The roads turn red, the buildings turn red. It's just absolutely incredible.
Island rangers doing all they can to help, closing off roads to clear a path, knowing there's no guarantees.
Some years we get none, and it doesn't seem to matter what the spawning is like. Some years you get lots of females going, but no babies come back. We don't really know why that is.
One of Mother Nature's spectacular secrets. Natalie Forrest for 10 News First, Christmas Island.
Now to our exclusive look at the last line of defence, keeping Australian borders safe. 10 News First reporter Natalie Forrest headed out with our elite marine tactical teams as they patrol the high seas for smugglers.
They're an elite tactical response group, patrolling our waters.
085. 085.
Ready to defend Australia's maritime borders from any threat.
Everyone brings with them some special, unique skill sets that all help us towards achieving the mission.
Each member highly trained, armed and ready.
We can also deploy armed boarding parties and we'll have a deck-mounted weapon capability as well.
We got an exclusive ride-along on board the Cape-class vessel, patrolling seas around Christmas Island.
These elite marine tactical officers are ready for almost any threat, from pirates and drug runners to people smugglers and illegal fishers.
Their imposing presence, the biggest deterrent.
The people that are potentially doing the wrong thing within Australia's maritime boundaries know that we're there and know that we can respond.
The 190-foot Cape-class cruiser is kitted out with the latest in surveillance technology and radar communications, while for crew, living conditions are surprisingly comfortable. The commercial kitchen serves restaurant-quality food. An indoor and outdoor gym keeps the troops fit. There's even a dedicated medical facility with a doctor on board. Downstairs is where any detainees are securely kept. These bunks capable of holding up to 50 people.
Sometimes it's fishing, sometimes it's illegal drugs. It's just being able to change to whatever the needs are.
Each member spends 28 days out at sea before they get a rest. Border Force looking to expand their ranks with recruiting now underway. Natalie Forrest for 10 News First, Christmas Island.
Two planes carrying Australians evacuated from the coronavirus epicentre of Wuhan have arrived on Christmas Island. The charter flights are expected to take more than 240 evacuees to the Australian territory. Natalie Forrest from 10 News First was there when the planes touched down.
Tash, after what has been an incredibly stressful and exhaustive rescue mission from Wuhan to Learmonth, now they're finally here on Christmas Island. The first plane load touched down late last night in thunderstorms and heavy rain. They were met by Ozmat crews in full protective gear. An elderly passenger was helped off first, followed by families with young children.
all wearing face masks. They were checked over by medics before they were cleared to get on a convoy of waiting buses. After a fortnight trapped in the coronavirus epicentre, the relief to finally be here clearly evident, with smiles and excited waves. As flight crews repeat the military precision exercise all night, making 4 runs to get all 243 Aussies home. From here, the evacuees will spend the next 14 days in lockdown. They'll be separated into groups in quarantine, where they'll be checked around the clock by medics. Tash?
Natalie Forrest reporting there. Thank you.
And Natalie Forrest is live at Christmas Island. Nat, is there any confirmation yet of a second Qantas flight to Wuhan?
Monica, we don't at this stage, but we believe it could be within days. Now, it comes as that second wave of evacuees settles into detention life here on Christmas Island, with more supplies being flown in just in case that third wave comes possibly as early as this weekend. Now, as the deadly coronavirus rapidly spreads, with a newborn baby just 30 hours old contracting the virus in China, the Australian government really needs to come up with a plan to get Aussies out of not just the Hubei province, but all of mainland China. Now, those numbers will be in the thousands, and that is space that Christmas Island really can't cater for. Monica?
Thanks, Nat.
Meantime, life in lockdown is continuing for hundreds on Christmas Island. The evacuees that we've spoken to here today at the detention centre say they're extremely grateful to be here. They've also praised the excellent medical care that they've been getting from AUSMAT teams, but admit they are starting to go a little stir-crazy.
A bit of cabin fever will probably sink in, but we're all trying to keep busy.
But they say the food is good, particularly the strawberries, though there is one thing on the outside they're looking forward to.
A glass of red wine would be nice.
Sometimes it's the simple things which help us through.
Natalie Forrest joins me now from Christmas Island. Nat, is there likely to be another rescue mission?
No, not at this stage, Chris. Australia's Chief Medical Officer has confirmed there are currently no plans to get any more Aussies out of Wuhan. There are now 288 confirmed cases of coronavirus in 24 countries outside of China and Hong Kong. Now, it comes as the World Health Organization warns that misinformation is actually the most contagious thing about the coronavirus, and doctors are not only battling the disease, but also trolls and conspiracy theorists pushing lies which undermine their outbreak response. Now, it comes as those 266 passengers are now settling into quarantine life at the Darwin camp after having their first medical checks. While here on Christmas Island, the first wave of those evacuees are now almost at the halfway mark of their 14-day quarantine period, and they are counting down the days until they can go home. Chris?
Thanks, Nat.
Well, young school kids on Christmas Island have come up with a plan to help children locked down in quarantine because of the deadly coronavirus. They have opened their hearts, putting pen to paper to help ease some of the anxiety of complete strangers.
Too young to really understand, but their message is loud and clear. These Year 2 students were excited at the hundreds of new arrivals to their home.
So when they heard that there were so many children there, they wanted to play with their new friends.
That's of course impossible, with their teachers forced to explain why the families are locked down in quarantine because of the coronavirus. But that wasn't going to stop them rolling out the welcome mat after the principal and AUSMAT doctors put their heads together.
And he said that they had enough stuff, but really if we could write letters and draw some pictures for the children who are out in the quarantine centre.
So students from years 1 through to 12 put their heads down, writing letters with special messages.
To everyone to be happy that welcome to the island. I'm writing a letter to the kids in detention centre for the coronavirus.
Their concern, honest and heartfelt.
They might miss their mum. I hope you're feeling well.
The Year 2 students have also drawn pictures of what life is like on the island, because while the children are in quarantine, they won't get to see anything of the island other than the detention centre.
It's a really nice place. I hope you can see your friends.
And though they probably won't get to meet this trip,
They might write back. Who knows? There might be some lifelong pen pals made out of this.
a simple gesture saying so much. Natalie Forrest for 10 News First, Christmas Island.
The Prime Minister has pledged a mercy mission to rescue Australians stranded on the coronavirus-plagued Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan. But the group won't be taken to quarantine on Christmas Island as hundreds of evacuees there today headed for home.
After 2 long weeks in quarantine, finally, freedom.
It's very exciting.
Glad to be going home?
Yes.
Well, we've got our mask off. That was the first thing, which was great. Now that we're outside, we feel free, if you like.
No holiday, but certainly no nightmare either.
How's it been?
It's been great. Great.
How did the little one go?
She's enjoyed it.
Some even wanted to stay.
Are you looking forward to going home?
Not really. I just wanted to stay there.
It ends an exhausting process to be cleared of coronavirus after battling to get out of Wuhan, but their thanks are heartfelt and sincere.
It's been a long journey to get to where we are, but being safe and healthy is the main thing, and we're very grateful for the government for their response.
Particularly to the Army and AUSMAT teams who were still doing heavy lifting until the very end.
I appreciate all the soldiers doing good jobs.
I feel just the army and the doctor, just all the staff look after very well here.
And while they're escaping without the dreaded virus, they won't be going home empty-handed.
Are you disappointed that you haven't got to see Christmas Island?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Maybe we'll go back just a few years later.
But as hundreds of Aussies head home from Christmas Island, they won't be replaced by incoming passengers from Japan and the hundreds of Aussies stranded on the Diamond Princess cruise liner in Yokohama.
It'll take, my advice is up to a week to ready that facility again, and there are quite specific needs that we wouldn't be able to accommodate at Christmas Island for the more elderly.
And late this afternoon, Scott Morrison announced a Qantas plane will make a mercy dash to pick them up.
So to those who are on board, we're with you. We're doing everything we can to support you. As you know, we're very concerned, obviously, for your welfare, and the best thing we can do to help you is to bring you home.
After the cruise from hell, perhaps they'll get to experience the same joy as those leaving Christmas Island.
I'd like a glass of red wine and some cheese is what I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Natalie Forrest for 10 News First, Christmas Island.